Shalom, Kol Halan La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect scattered across the earth. This is your brother Allah coming to you with another lesson, but this time it'll be a breakdown on Genesis, the first chapter. Right now, Lord willing, this be edifying toward the elect of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And let's get right into it. So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 1. In the beginning, I'm going to start off verbatim, and then, Lord willing, after we break it down, I'll read it how it's supposed to be read. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Right now, God there is not talking about the Heavenly Father himself. And to prove that, because a lot of you Christians, and also just a lot of you Jakes in general, you think that was talking about the Heavenly Father, right? The Most High himself, which it wasn't. Genesis 1 and 26, and it shows that. I'm going to read it verbatim. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Now, if that was the Most High himself, why would he refer to himself as us, our, and our? Makes no sense. That's because it wasn't the Most High himself, right? Now, when you go to the blue letter, and that's why it's important to look up words and really get into it. In the beginning, God. Now, right here, God, you see on the right, that word is Elohim. It says, Elohim. There's no E's in Hebrew. It's Elohim, right? Now, Elohim, the word Allah, means power, judge, etc., right? But the yum makes it plural. You see that M? That's Elohim, you see? So, so Allah would be power, judge, etc., but the yum makes it plural. So the word there is Elohim, which means powers, judges, gods, etc. Now, who were these powers? Well, let's go to John 1 and 1. Right? These powers were Yahweh Shai and the rest and the angels under him that were that the Lord had construct his blueprint. Right? John 1 and 1, in the beginning was the Word. Now, who's that Word? Go to the 14th verse. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. So the Word is talking about Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High. In the beginning was the Word, which is Yahweh Shai, and the Word was with powers. Plural is supposed to be there. Now it says, and the Word was God. It's supposed to be, and the Word was a power. Or the Word, and the Word was power. Right? Verse 2, the same was in the beginning with the powers, or with powers rather. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. You see? Now let's go back. Let me see if I got more on that in my in my notes. All right, now going into verse 2. Let me go back, Genesis 2. And Lord willing, this will be, this won't be too long. But verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the spirit of the spirit, I read it verbatim, and the spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, but we broke that down. So we know that's talking about the powers, right? Yahweh Shai and the angels. So it will be in the spirit of the powers moved upon the face of the waters. Now, in verse 2, when it says, and the earth was without form and void, it's talking about the fact that how the elements were not put together yet. You see? Right? The earth was there though, but it was just in the element stage. You see? Now the deep in verse 2 is talking about space. And when it says in the spirit of God, which that's the powers, moved upon the face of the waters is talking about the atmosphere. Right, verse 3, and the power said, let there be light, and there was light. Now in verse 3, what happened was the powers initiated a certain amount of elements to illuminate. Right? That's why it says, and the power said, let there be light, and there was light. Verse 4, and the powers saw the light that it was good, and the powers divided the light from the darkness, and the powers called the light day, and the darkness. Now it says, and the darkness he called night, but it's the powers. It's Yahweh Shai and Elohim, so it wouldn't be he because he is singular. This should be plural, so it should be, in the darkness they called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Now what's the first day? The first day, is that the fifth verse? Yeah, the first day is dealing with the 5,000-year period. It took a period of 7,000 years to carry this blueprint of the Heavenly Father out, you see? So the first day represents the first 1,000-year period. Because the day is with the Most High is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. And we can go there. We can go to 2 Peter 3 and 8 and Psalms 90 and 4. 2 Peter 3 and 8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. Let's go to Psalms 90 and 4. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday when it is past, and as a watch in the night. See? Now Genesis 1 and 6, and the power said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. Now that firmament is what we now call the ozone layer, right in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Verse 7, and the powers made the firmament, right, the ozone layer, and divided the waters which were under the firmament, which is under the ozone layer, right? Matter of fact, let me see if that's the 6th verse, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yeah. So it said, verse 6, and the power said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Verse 7, and the powers made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. Now in verses 6 through 7, like I mentioned, the firmament is what we now call the ozone layer, and the waters under the firmament is our heaven, the first heaven. The waters above the firmament is the second heaven. All right, and then in between, or because it said in the midst of the waters, that firmament is the what we now call the ozone layer. Right. Regarding verse 8, and the powers called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day, the second 1,000-year period. Verse 9, and the power said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear, and it was so. Now, when you look on a world map, and matter of fact, let's just go to it. Hopefully the video stays rolling, right? But when you look on the world map, what do you see? You see these different land masses broken up. Now, before the time of the flood, before the flood, during the time of Noah, it was just one big landmass. But part of what the flood did was break it into multiple different land masses. Okay? Right? That's why when you look on a world map and you look at Central and South America, Africa looks like it can fit right together with Central and South America, like a puzzle piece. You see? And that's because it was that way once before. Now let's go there. Let's look at Africa, right? Right? You see Africa, you see South America, and you see how Africa almost looks like it could just connect to not Central, South America, and then be right over the top. You see right there? You see? So, just showing you, you know, see it? You got Africa on the right, South America on the left. Looks like it could fit right together. That's because it once was together. Now, Genesis 1 and 10, and the power is called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called, remember, they seas, and Salakia. And the power saw that it was good. 11, and the power said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. Verse 12, and the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after its kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after its kind, and the power saw that it was good. Which when it says it was good, meaning it was according to the blueprint of the Lord, right? It was good. It was accordingly. Verse 13, in the evening and the morning were the third day, the 3,000-year period. 14, and the power said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. Now these are what those lights are, right? The sun, moon, and the stars. 16, and the powers made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. They made the stars also. 17, and the powers set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And the power saw that it was good. In the evening and the morning were the fourth day, 4,000-year period. 20, and the power said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. Now here in the 21st verse is when man was created. And it'll show you. 21, and the powers created great whales and every living creature that moveth. Man is a living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind. And every winged fowl after its kind, and the power saw that it was good. Right? Now in the 26th verse, that's not when man was created. Right? That's when, well, we'll get to that. 22, and the powers blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. In the evening, and see, that shows you that Esau is the devil, because the Lord, or the powers, which, once again, this is the blueprint of the Lord, but the power said, to be fruitful and multiply. You see? Be fruitful and multiply. And you got Esau trying to depopulate, I forgot what the number was, but to keep the earth's population under a certain amount, or to a certain amount. What kind of shit is that, man? So this dude is the devil. 24 or 23, in the evening and the morning were the fifth day, 5,000-year period. Right? 24, and the power said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after its kind, cattle and creeping thing and beast of the earth after its kind, and it was so. Verse 25, and the powers made the beast of the earth after its kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after its kind. And the powers saw that it was good. Verse 26, and the power said, let us make man in our image, which makes way more sense. The fact that it was the powers, plural, and it said let us, which us is plural, right? Even though it says God, that's talking about the powers. You gotta look these words up and really get into it. And really the spirit has to be working with you, you know? And the Lord has the Lord has men upset, or men set up rather. I said men upset. Men set up, right? The prophets that have the true breakdown, right? Which I believe are the elder and apostles and brothers of great millstone and like-minded brothers who may not be of that, be of great millstone, but are like-minded, right? Genesis 1 and 26, and the power said, let us make man in our image, right? Now, what's the image of the powers, right? The image of the powers, here we go. Right. So regarding verse 21 and 26, man was created in the 21st verse. But in the 26th verse is when man was created, was made in the image of the powers, in which the image is ordered. All right. Okay. Now 27. So, oh no. 26, and the power said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Verse 27, so the powers created man in his own image. In the image of the powers created he, created they him. Male and female created they them. Right, which them is plural, see? Verse 28, and the powers blessed them, and the powers said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And the powers said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat, meaning food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to every thing that creepeth upon the earth wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. And the power saw everything that they had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day, which is the 6,000-year period. So with that, Lord willing, you were edified. Call Halan La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem Harakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect scattered across the earth. And that was the breakdown of Genesis, the first chapter. Shalom.